Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for being late this week, but I'm here. Let's shop continued. This is good. First off, I need to do a little bit of upkeep. I've not read this yet. I've decided to go back to the old formula of just my actual initial reactions to everything. Secondly, I've not read anything about this. The only thing that I've actually read is this first paragraph before realizing that I probably actually want to do it live. Uh, and also I've not seen anybody else's opinion on this. These will all be my legitimate opinions that are my own. Now, I've also changed the name of the series from Let's Talk About Artifact to Artifact Previews with Trock. It puts my name in it, which can help when people looking it up, because a Reddit comment told me so. Thank you very much. So, let's get right into this. Welcome back to another round of Shop Talk. After our last blog post, we received a lot of email which made it clear that people still had questions about the specific functioning of the new shop. A lack of clarity in our previous discussion also caused some confusion. Let's start by trying to clear up some misconceptions, then we'll give some more details on the new shop's current implementation, and finally show some updated cards. So, this is good. Yeah, last week there were problems, for sure. Clarifying the UI. Our tasteful placeholder art muddied the waters a bit. The title Secret Shop in the new shop interface implied that it was somehow separate from the old shop in Artifact, or a replacement for the Secret Shop slot, when really it was just a reimagining of the old shop. Yep. People also found the invest option confusing because it created the expectation of giving money in the future rather than right away. In response, we've renamed the option from Purchase and Invest to Shop and Earn to make them more specific. Reroll button has been removed in favor of immediately replacing any purchased items like in the original shop. I liked the reroll feature. I don't think I agree with that. I don't think I agree with this. Before a match begins, you assemble an item deck, which currently consists of 10 cards, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. There are no tier restrictions on the items. Once you enter a match, your item deck is supplemented with extra items drawn from the whole set of items available in the game. You can see which items have been added via the in-game deck tracker. This recreates some of the varied gameplay of the old Secret Shop and ensures that shop will initially contain items of each tier. Number of items added is this. Okay. I was confused about this, but it turns out I was right. They took your item deck, shuffled in some random ones of each tier, and made that your new item deck. I was correct about that. Okay. In the shopping phase, each of the 3 slots in the shop is populated from this combined item deck, so roughly half the items available at a time will be from the deck you constructed, up from a third in the original shop. As mentioned, when you purchase an item, it is immediately replaced with new item drawn from the deck. Okay. About half, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the total item deck will be 21 cards, 10 of which you chose. I was worried that because of how it's worded, it would remove agency from the player, because they put stuff in their item deck, but it's much less likely to show up because of these other ones. But because it is half, I think it's okay. I think that if they brought tier 1 also down to 3, then it would be okay, because 10 and 10 leads to exactly half being random, which is good. And that's pretty much what it was in the base game, because there was the consumable slot, which you always bought, your deck, and the random deck, so that was half and half, really. So, yeah. The items in the shop are drawn from the cards remaining in the combined item deck whose tier is at or below the top level. If you have already bought all those cards, you will see a random tier 1 card instead. Smart. That way you cannot run out of item cards. That's good. Item reworks. You may have noticed how the rarity icons look different. These icons represent the general order that cards can be unlocked instead of traditional card rarity. Players start with the first group unlocked, cards with a gray icon, and some of the second group, the green icon. Cards in higher tiers aren't necessarily more powerful, but tend to use more advanced game concepts and require more finesse to be used at their full potential. That's what WotC said about Mythic Rares, but that changed. Let's take a look at some of the changes to items. Phase Boots. 3 health. Tier 1. Active 2, 1 mana, swap this hero to another position. Okay. So, Phase Boots swap to any slot among the 15? That would be crazy. Clausura Hourglass, pretty much the same. Oh, any extra cards. Oh, okay. So they did nerf it a bit. That's nice. Niktasha's Guard, 30 gold, 1 armor, active 1, 1 mana. Reduce adjacent enemies to 1 health. They are stunned, rooted, and feeble. Jesus Christ. Wow, that's powerful. Yeah. Hero reworks. Prolix! Oh, wait. Bait out your opponent's counters. Is there, like, counterspells in this game? That would be nice. Hero reworks. A few hero reworks as well. Prolix. 2/4, Gather the Faithful. Deploy to the right instead of the left, and Mega Creeps instead of Melee Creeps, which are 2/3s. Deploy, redeploy your leftmost melee creep. Oh, interesting. Okay. Or, your creeps have +1/+1. Okay. So she still keeps the theme of the aggressive creep strategy, but instead of just doing more creeps, they are better creeps, and it's easier for them to hit the tower. Okay. She converts one of the melee creeps to a mega creep. Deploying your creeps on the right gives you a few technical options in deploying. It's outside of round 1. You can easily get a strong blocker in the 4th or 5th. Barracks help empower many of the weak creeps blue tends to rely on by keeping them healthy and able to use their powerful effects more often. Axe. This was a problem in the original game. Axe. 3/2/5. Berserker's Call. Active 2, 1 mana. Battle all adjacent enemies. That was his spell, I think, but... Culling Blade. Slay a damaged enemy hero with 3 or less health, repeatable this round. That's really fucking cool. I like this. It's less just overall powerful than Axe was. 2 armor is still, like, a lot for baseline. Yeah, while Axe is no longer the stat juggernaut he once was, he's still extremely durable with great deployment options. Like, putting Axe in the off lane seems good, because he can survive a lot. With some setup and the fact that it's repeatable, Culling Blade lets you lop the heads off several heroes in one round. Okay. It's also fun to bluff holding, so you can bait reactions from your opponent. Berserker's Call is still beast and makes itemization for Axe extra powerful. It's a good idea to control initiative when Axe enters the board with it off cooldown. Yep. Yeah, him also just coming in and immediately being able to Berserker's Call as your round 3 hero seems good. Ogre Magi, multi-class, 2/4. 2 armor again. First blue spell or enchantment can be repeated this round. 2 round cooldown. Cool. So this is a cooldown that starts off cooldown, right? Ignite. Enchant Caster. Oh, enchantments. Look at that. Round start. Deal 1 piercing damage to each enemy. Sweet. Ogre has become popular here to build around. Just make sure you have enough mana to cast both copies of your spell this round, or you've wasted the cooldown. Repeatable cards are discarded at the end of the round, so you can't build card advantage the way you could with multi-cast in the original version of Artifact. The increased level of predictability makes this version easier to use, though. Yes, removing more randomness that is out of the player's hands. Look at this. Look at this. There's... Old Ogre Magi had potential for some swingy turns, like really swingy turns. This removes the randomness, but still has the flavor of multicasting. Multicast ability doesn't modify the base card. Unlike cards which are innately repeatable, multicast only returns the card to your hand one time. Oh, nice. Normally, repeatable cards can be cast until you run out of mana or valid targets. Right, because this does not say the card has repeatable this round. It just says the first one, you get another copy of it. While 2 armor makes Ogre a good option for offlane deployment, you may want to keep him in the safe lane instead to trigger multiclass frequently. Due to lower unit stats, Ignite is a great way to clear out small units from a lane. Yep. Also, I don't know for sure whether or not this starts off cooldown, but it'll be interesting to know if this and this technically mean the same thing, in that they start off on cooldown. But considering that it talks about off-lane, safe lane, I think that it starts off on cooldown, because you probably won't have enough mana unless it's like a 1 mana card that you want to multicast. Overall, I don't know if I agree with this completely. I like this mock-up better than it was, because it very clearly states or. What I would do instead... no, that... I think that this can still be reworked a bit. What I was thinking is... You can, when the shopping phase begins, you get to see earn or shop. None of this stuff. None of this stuff. And if you earn, you get the gold. If you shop, you get to see the items. But no, I think I like this better, even though it does leave less room for shop. So, upon thinking about this, I still disagree with this. Because realistically, you're still in the... Here, where is it? Sorry. So roughly half of the items available at any time will be from the deck you constructed, up from a third in the original shop. I disagree with this. As there are no consumable items anymore, the consumable slot in the original shop does not matter. In addition, this adds randomness outside of the player's hands. If you see 3 items that are not in your deck, with Original Artifact you were guaranteed to see something from your deck. With this, you're not. It's unlikely that you won't see something from your deck unless you only have tier 2s and up and you're in tier 1. I disagree with this statement. While there are 3 slots with about a... What is that? 10 divided... Math. 10 divided by 21 is 47%. So there's a 48% chance of any given slot being one of your cards, right? Well, no. Let's say your deck is 3-3-2-1-1, right? I did that math right, yes? Yes, I did. Okay. So there's a 43% chance that any given item... it's that to the power of 3, right? Yeah. So there is a approximately 8% chance that none of the items in your opening shop, when you have a 3-3-2-1-1 deck, that none of the items in your shop are going to be from your deck. This may seem small, but it's still there, right? Because actually no, I did that math wrong. So it would be 3 divided by 7 plus 3 divided by 6, or no, times. Three divided by 7, so there's a 3 out of 7 chance that the first one will be from your deck. If it's not, then the next one will be 3 divided by 6, which is 50-50, and the final one will be 3 divided by 5. Okay, so there's a... Nope, I did that wrong. Did I do that wrong? There's no way, right? So, is it divided by? No, it's times. Oh, no, I see what I did wrong. So it's actually, you have to do the ones that you do get. So 4 divided by 7 times 3 divided by 6 times 2 divided by 5. Because 4 and 7 chance, right, to get one of those. And there's 3 left in the deck out of 6. So you multiply by that, then multiply by 2 over 5. So there's about what looks like an 11% chance that you do not draw any of your items from a tier 1 shop. Am I doing that right? That's surprisingly high, if it is. I'm sure that one of my calculations was correct. But, so, let's assume between 8 and 12% chance. That's a lot. The shop is very clearly meant to be sideboard, right? Phase Boots is still just solid. Closure M Hourglass is a sideboard card. If draw is the meta, then Closure M Hourglass is good. But if there's just like hyper aggro decks, then Closure M Hourglass does nothing. Items are your sideboard. By the way, I like that you start with Phase Boots, because it's a common item. Because items are your sideboard, having an 8 to 12% chance that none of the things that you chose for your sideboard is actually in your shop when you need it to be, and now with no reroll option, that's a problem. And that's assuming 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. If you drop tier 1 down to 3, then you do that makes it so that there's a 5% chance that nothing will be better. Compare that to the 8 to 12% chance. That will also make it so that exactly half of your items will be in the shop. Yeah, I think I did this correct. So an 11% chance that none of your sideboard cards, none of your situational cards that help you out depending upon your opponent's deck, an 11% chance. That's crazy. And that means that if you reduce this by 1, it more than halves the amount of the chance that the randomness will be outside of the player's hands, which again was a problem. We talked about earlier with Ogre Magi and Multicast. The randomness was outside the player's hands. Yeah, you played the Ogre Magi, but still, the power of Ogre Magi's ability was completely dependent on luck. It could do nothing. It could win you the game. In a way, Ogre Magi's ability was in the player's hands, because you had to choose to play Ogre Magi and you accept the possibility that Ogre Magi's ability just won't trigger. Same reason why you play like Yogg-Saron in Hearthstone. So in a way, Ogre Magi's ability was fine. But this is not. This randomness is outside of the player's hands. You can put items into your deck to reduce the randomness, in that you are guaranteed to have these in your deck. But it's like in Hearthstone, the multiple cards, like the Wondrous Whizbang. Let me find it. Yeah, that one. Oh, Whizbang the Wonderful. You start the game with one of Whizbang's wonderful decks. The problem with Whizbang is that the decks... Where is it? I don't know... So, I don't quite know how many decks there were. I think that there were quite a few. Like, there were a lot of decks. Because it was deck recipes, that's 3 per class. So 3 times 9, because there were only 9 when Whizbang came out, is 27. So there were 27 different decks that Whizbang could get. And that randomness was completely outside the player's hand. And Whizbang was not played for that reason. It did not give you a bonus outside of the randomness. It was just random. Yogg-Saron, you end up with a 7/5. And generally, spells are better when used... generally, random spells will target your opponent. Not always, but generally. It's the same problem here. By reducing the impact of players' decisions before the game even begins, you have lessened the player's ability to affect the game. That's why arrows were a problem, that's why random creeps were a problem. And that's why Ogre Magi was not a problem. Because you chose to put Ogre Magi in your deck. You accepted that sometimes Ogre Magi will do nothing. And sometimes Ogre Magi will do some crazy garbage. I think I still disagree with this shop. I like some aspects of it. Again, the 5 gold or shop. That's very clear. New players will understand that you have to make a choice there. And notice that upgrade is in shop, so you cannot upgrade and earn. immediately replacing any purchase items like in the original shop. Yeah, that makes sense. I was trying to think, like, is there a problem with this? I would like to have the reroll button. The reroll button was one of my favorite parts of the old shop, and I just assumed... Or, not the old shop, the shop from last week, and I just assumed that this was already true. I think that having both reduces randomness and increases your player input. I like this, but I disagree that these are the right numbers. I think it should be 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. Lessen the randomness on tier 1. And then if you copy that, it will be 5% chance... Oh god, the math gets way harder when you level up. But other than these are 50. But Actually, no, it's not 50. Yeah, no, the math just gets harder. I think going to 3, 3, 2, 1, 1 would be the correct call. It seems small, but again, it goes from an 11% chance to a 5% chance on a tier 1 shop to get something that you chose to put into your deck. Or 5% chance to not see anything that you put in. I think that's going to be about all for this week, but please talk with me in the comments or Reddit comments, and I will try to respond to any that has any sort of... Oh, by the way, video's over, all insightful commentary gone, so if you want to leave a comment now, feel free, but I'm now going to do a couple of final statements. If you like this, please subscribe. Of course, every YouTuber says that, but I would really appreciate it. Shows that what I'm doing is wanted by the community. If you have questions or comments or concerns about these videos or what I've said inside of them, please comment on the Reddit thread or on YouTube. And next week, I will be live streaming my review at, let's say, 3 p.m. When did this come out? This came out... where's Artifact? There you are. May 4th at 1:20. Okay, so at 3 p.m. PST on Monday, or 6 p.m. EST on Monday, I will be streaming my live reactions of this at twitch.tv/Trockenmatt. And we can chat about it, get some feedback. I always do better with someone else. And I suppose I will see you all for week 7 of Artifact updates. Exciting.